Dr. Duffy, thank you for having us here tonight. It's a real honor and an opportunity. And in the interest of full disclosure, there's no coincidence that my last name is the same. That's my father. And it's just been such a privilege to spend the last 2 or 3 years working with him, first on the book and then on the project and the educational portion of our project. He's quite the inspiration, as you can imagine. The Perry Project began with the memoir, as he pointed out, and the overall goal that we've come up with is to reach a younger generation with the message of nuclear danger. But will they read the book? Probably not. And why are we focusing on millennials? A lot of people are trying to get their advertising dollars, we know that. We're focusing on them because there's very little awareness about nuclear danger in this generation coming up. They did not grow up in the Cold War and hear about the danger on a daily basis. Once the Cold War ended, many people have been born since then who really don't know much about it at all. And they are the ones who will bear the cost and the risk of nuclear policy that is being decided today. To have a real voice and any influence, they really must be informed. This is a very complex issue, and they must be engaged in a public conversation about the purpose of nuclear weapons in the 21st century. So how to engage them? I'm clearly not a millennial, so we had to ask them. We convened a group of students from 3 universities, and we asked them to consider this question: why isn't the issue of nuclear danger on the radar of their peers? What they discovered in their research, we sort of sent them off for 2 months. They researched from various parts of the country independently and then met together periodically. And what they discovered in their research, I mean, there is plenty of information out there about these issues, but it's just not reaching them. They told us, millennials access and consume information differently. They're mobile-centric, on smaller devices and screens. Their preference for video and short-form storytelling to get their information. On-the-go viewing, anywhere, anytime, standing online somewhere, in the most informal of ways. They like to share what they learn through their social networks. They like to create that sense of community around sharing that information. And they like to take action, and they like to engage with content in many small ways, something as simple as clicking like, something more complex, writing a response to a blog. And they often create their own content. This is a remarkably facile, creative generation with many tools at their disposal, and they aren't afraid to use them, unlike older generations that spend a lot of time worrying about the exact editing of the word and freezing themselves in the process. They get their news from a variety of media-rich sites, most with a popular culture styling, with tools for engaging, things like BuzzFeed, Vice News, Al Jazeera Plus. I'm sure you've seen them. They're everywhere, and they're springing up all the time. So they're not going to just the same old sources to get information and news. So we began designing an online education program with short-form courses that would incorporate many of these tools and ideas, which we are continuing to work on. And at the same time, we invited a small group the next summer of young professionals to work with us, and this was just this last summer, to create their own content about these issues. Our aim was to get content with a younger sensibility. We acted only as advisors, giving feedback and opening doors to experts when they needed them. We requested a variety of media projects to just illustrate the different types of content, not just video, but interactive graphics, data charts, and encourage them to use alternative styles of conveying the information. This was a very small team. There were just 3 of them. And the results are posted now on the homepage of the Perry Project website, which is wjperryproject.org. Check it out when you have a minute. We believe these examples could serve as a prototype for engaging more young people in these issues going forward from here. And the one example I will show you today depicts the nightmare scenario, which is in the preface of My Journey at the Nuclear Brink. It's pretty grim, but it is intended to start a public conversation that we desperately need to have.